Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing the case of the Vanishing Triangle. We're going to be covering the first 3 missing peoples and where the area is, and if you want to hear part 2, make sure to click subscribe and you will see that next week. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. Blueberry break. So the first missing person we're going to be talking about is Annie McCormick, who was a 26-year-old woman from Long Island, New York. Now, she moved to Ireland and she'd been living in Sandymount, County Dublin, and she was last seen at a post office in Enniskerry, Wicklow. So I'll pop up a map right now so you can see where those 2 places are. She went missing on the 26th of March 1993, and the last time she was seen, as I said, was at the post office, but there was one unconfirmed sighting of her at I think it was a pub, at Johnny Fox's pub by the doorman, and he said she was there with a man. Now this is unconfirmed, so we cannot say if it was her or not, but they are fairly positive that this was Annie McCormick. So the unconfirmed sighting was outside Johnny Fox's pub in Glencullen, County Dublin, in this place here. So the doorman said that they had left the lounge of Johnny Fox's pub and went into the cabaret room. So the doorman says that he saw Annie McCormick and this unknown man leave the lounge room in Johnny Fox's and go into the cabaret room, where this unknown man paid to get the both of them in there. People realised that something had gone wrong when Annie was supposed to meet up with her friends for a dinner party. She had plans with her friend Hilary Brady and his girlfriend Risha Fortune for dinner at their apartment the next day. When Annie never showed up and never contacted them, they decided to contact her parents back in America, in New York, and that is when she was reported missing. So that's when her parents decided to arrive in Ireland for the case and to help police with any leads or any intel that they might have, but of course there was nothing they could do to help. They reported their daughter missing with the Wicklow police, and then they had to leave after 6 months of not finding their daughter. I can't imagine what it would be like to fly halfway across the world where your daughter was presumably having a great time, had friends, was just living her best life, and then to go there for 6 months, not be able to find her, and have to go home alone. It's just heartbreaking. It's shocking. So that leads us on to our second lady who went missing. So our second lady who went missing was called Eva Brennan, and she was 39 years old from Rathgar in County Dublin. I'll pop that up here. She went missing on July 25th, 1993, and it is said that she was known to be depressed before her disappearance, and due to this, her family found that the investigation really wasn't up to par, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. So she disappeared after leaving lunch at her parents' house in Rathgar, which was a normal occurrence. She usually had lunch with her parents. It was in her daily routine, and then for her just to go missing without a trace was quite out of the ordinary, even though she was struggling with depression and mental illness. So after a couple of days, her father started to get really worried. He hadn't seen his daughter, and this was not normal. They had quite a close relationship, and she usually did see them every single day. So he decided to go over to her apartment, knock on the door, and see if she was inside. Maybe she was just upset or something. When he didn't get any contact back, he decided to go over to his pub where he got a doorman. It was the Horse and Hound pub that the family owned. So they owned this pub. He went over to the doorman and he got the doorman to go back to Eva's house, where he broke a window to get into the house and see if she was there or if she was okay. When they broke into the house, they realised that the jacket that she had worn to lunch the previous couple of days ago was there. So that means that she made it home from her parents' house that day. So she made it home, but what happened then? That's the big mystery. The thing that infuriates me is that there was no investigation for 3 months. This happens all the time where people hear that someone is struggling with mental illness and it's just, oh, they went to clear their head, they're running away, and they don't take it seriously. And especially if someone's an adult, if they're Eva's age, she was 39 years old, she was a woman, she can do what she wants, she's an adult, she can make her own decisions. But if the family are telling you that this is not normal, you need to trust them. They know this person better than you ever will. And if they're telling you something, you gotta listen. So it took 3 months before there was an investigation, and her family were not happy at all. I wouldn't be either. And they criticised the Gardaí for how they handled her disappearance. There was a rumour that was circulated and was repeated by some Gardaí, suggested that Eva may have known double killer Michael Bambrick, who was a completely other video. This is Michael Bambrick. He was convicted of killing and burying Patricia McGauley and Mary Cummins in Clondalkin. Eva's sister, Colette, said it was extremely unlikely that she would have known this man. She'd never mentioned him before. She said her sister never went over that side of the city, and there was no reason for her to have known her, and Bambrick killed women he knew. He did not know Eva. That would have been a random killing, and that is not his MO. So she said, there's no way, I don't believe it. She had a hunch. She said that her sister visited her parents every single day, had lunch, went home, and rarely went out. And if she did go out, they'd heard all about it. There's no way that Eva could have known this Bambrick guy without her family knowing. They were a close-knit family, they would have known. These investigations, the first 48 hours are crucial. Like I said in my last video, the first 48 hours are crucial, and these women are going missing and nothing's being done about it. Which leads me into our last missing person of today. So, the last missing person we are going to be talking about today is Imelda Keenan, who was 22 from County Laois, more specifically Mount Mellick. She went missing on the 3rd of January 1994 when she was living in Waterford City, so quite near Wicklow. She had initially gone to stay with one of her brothers in County Cork, so the very south of Ireland in Cove. But she left shortly after to stay with another one of her brothers in Waterford. So she was supposed to be going down there, she decided to go there instead, and then she went missing. So Imelda had been living with her boyfriend Mark Wall, and they had been sharing an apartment together. She had been undergoing a computer course for a short period, and she'd been attending this in the Central Technical Institute of Waterford, and they lived on William Street. Imelda told her boyfriend that she was going to be going to the post office, so she left her apartment at about 1:30 in the afternoon, and she walked down William Street onto Lombard Street. Unfortunately, the last sighting of Imelda was by a doctor's secretary who knew her quite well and was able to say positively that I saw Imelda. She had been walking across a road near the doctor's office, and the secretary and a friend said that Keenan, Imelda, crossed the road at the corner of the Tower Hotel and Lombard Street. And this was the last time she had been seen. So I'm going to pop up a map here now so you can see where these 3 women went missing. I'm going to point them out. We have another 3 women to get through, so that will be in either a video coming out this week or next week, and then we'll discuss the theories. I mentioned Larry Murphy in my last video. This is your Larry Murphy video. I allegedly think he did it, although opinions are not facts, and do not take my word for it. But yeah, so that's all the information I have for you today, and this has been a very unsettling case. As someone who lives quite near where this area is and who spends a lot of time in the mountains, I find it very cool and peaceful up there. It's crazy to think what could have gone on up there, and how upsetting it is that these women have never been found and there's never been justice for them, and that they've never been able to be laid to rest somewhere where their family can go and appreciate them and visit them. So that is all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please make sure to click like. And if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to click subscribe and click that bell button to be notified when I post part 2. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!